My feelings on Bitcoin, I wouldn't say they've changed. I'm not a Bitcoin hater. I personally don't have any cryptocurrency. I'm not mad if people do. I just hope that they're also investing at least 15% into retirement accounts, into tried and true methods, and then using their fund money to invest in crypto. And if you're going to invest in crypto, Bitcoin is the current leader, winner with the best track record.
Would you invest 1% of your net worth in Bitcoin?
Ooh, would I? I don't know at what point I would be comfortable doing that versus just putting it into the market, in even a brokerage account, into an index fund. I'm much more comfortable just throwing money into an index fund versus, well, what if that money could 20x?
But you could put it in a Bitcoin ETF.
What would that ETF do for me versus just Bitcoin solo?
The ETF would just be easier to buy, and you'd be able to do it from within a
but it's still one
account.
Coin. Yeah, it's still like a single stock in that regard.
Yes.
If there was I'll say this, if there was an ETF or index fund that had a collection of the best cryptocurrencies, I would say, all right, I'll put some fun money in there. That would be my caveat.
I have a feeling at some point that's going to happen.
Well, and the whole idea is that it's unregulated. But now as it gets more regulated, it kind of takes the steam out of it, in a sense. Now, I get there's a finite amount of Bitcoin and all of that, and it can't be devalued with inflation and printing money. So that part is actually the most interesting part to me. I talked to Tom Bilyeu about this.
Yeah.
But really what bothers me is the people that are into it. It's not the crypto, it's amoral. It's like a brick. You can throw it through a window, you can build a school. The people that are into Bitcoin, like once you have hashtag Bitcoin in your X profile, I'm like, oh, you're not okay. Like there's mental health issues. Like if I had hashtag mutual funds in my Twitter bio, you would say like this guy, he needs to see someone.
Or
that's a weird thing to do.
The laser beam eyes on Twitter. Have you seen that?
That's also strange to me. And so I
could see you with laser beam eyes.
People have probably done it for a YouTube video, like trying to take me down and make me look like, what's that evil Joe Biden? Dark Joe or whatever. So I could see that happening. But it's the people obsessed with it. It's like an MLM. That's why I've always said cryptocurrency is just Mary Kay for young men. Because the people who are into it are trying to get other people into it. They're obsessive about it. And they make money when they get you into it. Think about that. If I want you in on Doge, I'm going to tell everyone, hey, you got to get in on Doge, man. It's a great price right now. It's going to the moon. Elon said he's going to go on SNL, and then it's going to crash. And so I just don't like the culture around it versus the actual technology itself of the blockchain and all that.
I do see that changing, for Bitcoin at least. I do see that culture transitioning into something a little bit more corporate. But like you said, it takes a bit of the steam out of it.
Yeah. If it was offered, let's say in our 401k, if there was a Bitcoin mutual fund, I might just throw a little bit in there for fun and go, all right, above and beyond my 15%, I'm going to throw some into this mutual fund and see what happens. But I just think there's too much get-rich-quick greed around it, and nobody can convince me otherwise. Because why are you investing in Bitcoin? It's not because of the technology. No, it's because you're hoping to get 1,000x versus a 20% return.
I see it as something where people don't want to put their money in the dollar, that they see that as a global currency or a global store of value that everyone attributes some form of wealth to. And so they see that as something that is a finite amount of it. Everyone from around the world sees and agrees that this holds some level of value. I'm going to put my money in that.
Sure. I saw the RFK thing. Did you see this? RFK Jr., he was at the Bitcoin conference here in Nashville, and he said he wants the U.S. to have 20% or almost 20% of all market share of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And that the government needs to buy, I did the math on this. It was like the government would need to spend like $70 million a day. With whose money? Taxpayer money. The government doesn't create.
Worked for El Salvador, though.
Did it?
Yeah.
How are they doing?
Really well.
So they used taxpayer money to buy Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then what happened?
It dropped, and he bought the dip.
He bought the dip.
So he timed the market perfectly.
Yeah. He's just technically he's just
he was dollar
bought.
cost averaging.
Okay,
So
like
technically,
DCA.
But he started
And
buying
also-
at 30, wrote it down, doubled down at like 16, 18, and then wrote it all the way back up to 70.
Their currency though was completely obliterated, so it wasn't like there was anything.
It didn't have
was
much
risk.
to lose.
It was their Hail Mary.
Yeah,
I think there's too much fear mongering happening with the dollar devaluation, and it's all going to come crashing down. All these countries are going to come against us, and your dollar's going to be worth nothing. I get that inflation is real, but I think there's way too much fear mongering on the other side, saying, well, I'm going to have all my money in crypto, which, by the way, you still have to turn back into cash to actually use it. I mean, it's similar to gold in that regard, where people are going, I'm going to buy up all the gold. And then what? You're going to have to go sell it to a pawn shop for less than you paid for it just to turn it around.
Well, I think eventually we could get to a point where for larger purchases, you could just trade Bitcoin. Like, let's say a house. You say, hey, that house is 10 Bitcoin, 5 Bitcoin, or 5.5. Send me that, and that is payment. Or a car, 1 Bitcoin. So
I think that day is farther away than the dollar being demolished. That's just how I'm like, all right, I'm going to take my bet.
Yeah.
The dollar's fine, and I'm going to invest to beat that inflation rate. That's the key. When people just have their money in a checking account or a measly savings account making 0.01%, yeah, that's terrible. I wouldn't do that. I'm going to invest in, my house isn't appreciating, my investment accounts, my 401ks, IRAs, a taxable brokerage, all of that will hopefully appreciate in the long term more than the dollar is being devalued.
Yeah.
That's the only hope we have.